Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, who was here first? Wow, you guys have been chatting away. Oops, excuse me, got the hiccups. Compton Caligar was here first. Thank you so much for being here. And let's see, Anastasia, I take it your wrench is working. Uh, Judy Matassit, thank you for being here. Lydia Washington, and a host of friends and others. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll all the way to the last person in, Patricia Gordon. Thank you for being here. And let's get on with it, shall we? Oh, I got to bring my slides up. Put your mind at ease, pretty please. Okay, you can count on me. So put your mind at ease. Okay. Okay, slides are coming up. Desiree Dotson, thank you for being here. Hello, Sherry Ware, Gwendolyn Daniels, Sharon Walker, Olivia Johnson, Maya Dino. Was it Maya? Okay, there we go. Somebody got snubbed. Uh, I'll explain. I'll explain. Okay, let's get on with it, shall we? And go. Happy, well, if it is after midnight for some people, so happy Black Awareness Day. Yes, 20th of November, uh, Dia da Consciencia Negro, which, of course, in Brazil, it is Black Awareness Day. It is a chance for people to examine the impact of the African population in South America. Did you guys know that the largest population of Black people, Africans outside of Africa, is in Brazil, a nation of some 220 million strong, and the majority of the people, over 100 million, I would imagine, over 100 million people, and probably a whole lot more, could look down their DNA ladder and they will find a Negro looking back at them. Yes, a Black person, an African person in their DNA. Um, but yeah, things are changing, and there certainly is a Black Pride movement, which I'm sure there has been one for a long time, but there's a lot of Americans that, well, African Americans that are actually spending time in Brazil, moving to Brazil, starting businesses and thriving in Brazil. It is very important that you learn to speak Portuguese because outside of the tourist areas, you won't find a lot of people that speak English, but a lot of the young people everywhere in the world, you could always depend on younger people in just about any country. Um, the young people will speak some English. Um, but then again, you could also take the time to learn some Portuguese. But yeah, very exciting. Let me see here. Yeah, Brazil has a long way to go, Black Queen. They have a very long way to go. Like so many other nations, especially Argentina, and of course, oh gosh, what's another place I could think of? The Dominican Republic, the United States. There's so many instances in history where people were nervous about how dark the country was. And so they give a blanketed amnesty a blanketed what do you call it, immigration policy that will allow as many people from Eastern and Western Europe to come and start a life for themselves with financial assistance and everything else they need. All of the stuff that they would have likely denied to the indigenous or the African population, they would make sure that no family would fail, no family was left behind. And that is something common in these Americas, North and South America, where they would just bring in people from Europe to make sure that they can kind of even things out or make things as white as possible. They've even done that in Mexico. They've done that a lot in Mexico. The indigenous Mexicans look somewhat different from their European cousins that have come over. So, yeah, there's a long way to go, and there's a short time to get there. But we'll get there for sure. We'll get there. So, yeah, that's the whole point of it. Black awareness. Hello, Harlem girl. Okay. And happy International Men's Day. Didn't know that was a thing, but apparently was the 19th International Men's Day. And who better to be the poster child for the International Men's Day than that real man himself, Prince Harry, real man. Um, when a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. He'll trade the world for the good thing it's found. And that's right, when a man loves a woman. So that's Harry's story. He gives up everything he's had. Trying to hold on. So, yeah, there you go. International Men's Day. And what better way to celebrate International Men's Day than to start spare? Yeah, how about the audio version read by the author himself? That would be Prince Harry. Harry said, every word in that book is my own. Every word. So don't go with some biographer that you find on some tabloid news program. Those are my words, said Harry. So I'm going to go with what Harry said. Take a look here. International Men's Day is a day to raise awareness of men's mental health. Someone devoted to this cause is our Members' Choice Award nominee, Prince Harry. In his book Spare, Harry talks openly about his mental health, including his grief after the death of his mother, Diana, who died mysteriously in that tunnel in Paris without reasonable explanation. Oh, you guys, I have just been triggered. I have just been triggered. I was so busy today, I managed to not think about the crown. Oh, that just brought it right back. That brought everything rushing back to me. How the crown, that propaganda piece. Well, anyway, I'm going to talk some more about that later. But what a awful production that was. Okay, and so if you remember those five things that he was questioned about, what was that? Stephen Colbert said, "What does what mean to you?" And he said, "Freedom, happiness, clarity, space, love." Those are the five things that were very important to him: freedom, happiness, clarity, space, love. Um, You know it was a mystery, Phyllis Johnson. Yes, there was some white paint on the car from a Fiat that likely collided into it. Yes, the paparazzis chased them through the streets of Paris. Yes, they there was a whole lot of mitigating circumstances, and but until they are willing to admit that there were terrible inconsistencies. I remember I saw that last documentary. It was a really good one. And I couldn't believe that this documentary was asking legitimate questions and exposing inconsistencies. And yet they said, Monsieur Henri was drunk. Monsieur Henri was drunk. But you just said all those other things. And at the end, they just, Monsieur Henri was drunk. So, yeah, I hope. But, well, you know how they like to drag things out until there's no living witnesses and no living anybody that has anything to do with it. So, unfortunately, what we know in our hearts to be true will just have to suffice unless the real truth is exposed. Amen. Okay. Uh Now that song is in my head. When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. uh, okay. And continue. So, a card handcrafted by Prince Harry when he was in nursery reveals hint of future that no one could ever have imagined for the young royal. Well, what is the thing that was there hiding in plain sight and nobody else seemed to have been able to see it? Nobody else took notice of it. I'll tell you what it was. There it is. You see it? Love Harry with stars and stripes. He spells out his name and used that glue on that construction paper and he stuck Love Harry on there. Harry loves stars and stripes. Harry loves the United States. Harry wants to go to America. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. Well, a stars and stripe hint of the future in Harry's card, age 3. At age 3, Harry's little chubby hand reached for those letters, not even knowing himself, but knowing it was right. He went and reached for those little letters right there, and he smacked them on that paper and handed it in to be graded. Yep, who knew? Who knew? It was just always meant to be. It was always meant to be. So that's weird. That's weird. Yeah, nothing bland about it or anything. So, how about that? That's our Harry. That is our Harry. It is decorated with a heart in the colors of the American flag, and the word Love Harry also includes a stars and stripe motif. It is though that the card, which is due to go on sale at what is that? Dominic Winter Auctioneers on Wednesday, dates from 1987 or 88. The auction house's website states Nikki, the recipient of the card, was given this birthday card by Harry when he was 3 or 4. Diana told her Harry had made it specially, but possibly with the same assistance from Diana. Ooh, now that's intriguing when you throw that little Diana in there. Wow. Oh, Diane Hawkins, it was dreadful. It was terrible. I mean, to tell you, I don't have the words to describe how dreadful, how awful, how repugnant, how pathetic the the crown was. I mean, it was just it was it was it was like cow fodder. It just it had no purpose other than to misinform and to provide propaganda for the palace, for Charles. And well, the person who told me, you just got to watch it, you just got to watch it. And before I even watched it, I said, I will watch it. But I have to tell you, if it's anything in the vein of season 5, then we're going to have problems. But I watched it, and it was just as terrible as I thought it would be. Worse, though, even worse. Well, at least this time, Charles didn't break dance, but it was still terrible. So, oh boy. I did a lot of walking today. And if you could see the way I'm moving, oh, if you could see the way I was moving, I think you'd cry. I'm walking like I'm about to throw a bowling ball. Also, I carried some stuff that was way too heavy, and I'm literally walking like I'm about to throw a bowling ball. I'm walking like I'm playing shuffleboard. Okay, but thank you so much, Diane. I don't plan to watch The Crown season 6 either. Not interested in seeing them disrespect Diana's memory. Oh my God, disrespect. That's putting it mildly. It was so much worse than that. I wish it was limited to disrespect, but yeah, it was. Oh, I don't have the words. I don't have the words. It made a mockery. It mocked her existence. It mocked the pain and suffering that that young girl endured because she was groomed by an institution and by members within that institution, by her own uh, grandmother on her father's side of the family. They all were in cahoots to provide a vessel for the continuation of the bloodline. And it at no point was anybody concerned or at the least bit aware of Diana's happiness. That just wasn't something to consider. And I remember seeing that one guy that just blurted out she's a virgin and thank goodness she's a, and I'm just like, oh, this is a person. This is a person you're talking about, a living, breathing human being, not a tool. Oh well, I all right. Okay, so let me move on. Horrible show. So yeah, this is where I need to be. But yeah, so take a look there. There's one of my old collage images of Harry and the American flag. There he is embracing Meghan at a barbecue or picnic or whatever. Is that at Frogmore? I'm sorry, not Frogmore. Is that from the Nottingham? It looks like it's Nottingham Cottage. And then, of course, Harry with the USA sweatshirt, jumper, whatever, and visiting Michelle Obama at the White House, I believe it was. I recognized the gold curtains in the middle at the bottom. And then, of course, there was visiting with the participants of the Invictus game. So the competitors, participants. Yes, Marilyn Farley, that's exactly what happened. They made her look foolish and manipulative. And I'm just going to say this, any missteps, any missteps, any deals that were made from Diana to the press, I'm going to say it was justified if there were any deals. And the reason why I say that is because Diana was trying to navigate her newfound freedom from that institution in a world that was not available to a divorced woman from a royal family as powerful as the Mountbatten-Windsor family. There's so many times where you can say they have been meddling with things here in America where it concerns that family, like for instance the Duke of York, right? The Duke of York. I'm pretty sure there's been some cross Atlantic conversation. And then, of course, I heard that they made the request that the intelligence agency, I think it was the CIA or the FBI, they wanted them to destroy Louis Mountbatten's um, dossier because, well, he's dead and it may prove embarrassing to the royal family. And so it has been reported that the request was made by the British government to purge the records of Louis Mountbatten. Now, the reason why they would keep the records of a friendly person to our nation's intelligence is because Louis Mountbatten was in the thick of it when it came to foreign policy and espionage with the uh, British government. And so there wasn't much happening that he did not know about. But see, the United States and all of the homophobia that was within those government agencies, it had long been established that anyone who's gay and working for the federal government is considered a security risk because they feel as though there's a greater likelihood that your life, your sexuality could be used as blackmail. So that is why in the past, so many gay men or women stayed in the closet. They could not live openly. They had to hide it because they were putting together these dossiers. They were investigating people, and you could lose your position. You can get kicked out of the military. So it's happened many times before. And so they found Louis Mountbatten to be a huge risk. And trust me when I say this, he was in the thick of it. He had access to a lot of things. And yeah, so let me see. I'll give you an example if you give me just a moment here. I will show you an example of what I mean by Louis Mountbatten. It used to bother me. I lost my sanity. Don't know what to do. Nothing else to do. No, no, no. Okay, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Take a look there. There is John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Louis Mountbatten, and what appears to be the defense secretary or the joint chiefs of staff. And look at the quilts that they got. That's what they call it when they have all those ribbons or honors on their lapel. They call it a quilt, like a quilt blanket. Well, there's Louis Mountbatten in the thick of everything. And so the United States government thought that he could be a security risk. So they kept a dossier. And they said that the British royal family or the British intelligence made the request, please get rid of that dossier. They have buried so much stuff about Louis Mountbatten. I wish that they would make documentary, an accurate documentary about him. Oh, that would be interesting. Ooh, it would be so, but only if they're going to do it right. But that is a very, very wicked individual. Very. Yep, the kind you don't bring home to mother. The last viceroy of India. So Lex says, after season 4 of The Crown, the British royal family got involved. Yes, Legs. Yes. And I just had this conversation. And the person that I was speaking to said, what do you mean? How could the British royal family get involved with a production about? I said, excuse me, do you not recall that the palace had people sifting through the lines of the what is it, suits, and suddenly Rachel Zane had to cover everything up. Suddenly Rachel Zane couldn't be seen in bed. Suddenly Rachel Zane couldn't be stepping out the shower. There was a lot of things that they wanted changed in the script. And the reason why everybody knows that is true is because who was it? The executive producer? The producer, he said that the palace kept coming in there, tinkering around with the script. And of course, if you are the producers of Suits and you're having all of this extra attention brought to your production because of the dating between the prince and uh, Meghan Markle, of course you're going to say, yeah, we can change a few things. I think they were willing accomplices to these changes, but still the pressure came from inside the house. The pressure came from inside the house. So I don't blame them um, for having, gone along with it because that is a lot of pressure, even for a so called Hollywood production when, everything is going your way. You certainly don't want to rock the boat. So they went along with it. And, oh, well, that's what happened. So thank you so much, Lex. And thanks for being here tonight. Let me see. Yes, they made Diana the villain. Yeah, they made Diana the villain. Yep. It's very sad. It's very sad. I'm hurt by it. I'm really, really hurt. Diana was loved. Diana did so much good in this world. And if we take nothing else from Diana's existence, knowing that people that have been hurt people that are suffering, people who have been made pariahs, like for instance the AIDS patients in the early days of HIV/AIDS. Diana changed that. Diana changed the way families related to their own family members, their own children, their own whatever. She changed that single handedly. Diana changed that stigma, not for everybody, not in every instance, but in more ways than we could calculate. Diana changed things. And that's more than you could say for any of those miserable people in that family, including Charles. Uh, okay. I could have also something to do with the amount of brown children. Oh yeah. Yeah, Carmen, there's been those allegations and such. I mean, of course I don't want to say certain things like that. But you need only do some research if anybody wants to know the real Louis Mountbatten. But it was rather it's scary. It's really scary. Um, but those allegations have gone on for years, and like I said, the government has been working feverishly and very discreetly to conceal a lot of the records. And the British are some very good record keepers, you know that. But just like with Kenya, they burned, they um, threw it in the ocean, whatever they could do to get rid of the records. But every lash, every every hanging, every punishment that was dealt to the people in um, Kenya, they had a record of it. They know who did what to whom. But when before the British left, before the British relinquished their authority over Kenya, they destroyed those records. They destroyed them. So let's see. Hello, S. Thanks for the heads up, Sir Baron. I'm not watching The Crown. I side eye everything, even more that I have ever read from so called historical sources. The genie is out of the bottle. Yeah, S, if you if you know of Diana, if you love Diana, if you respect Diana, it's too painful to watch. It really is. It's too painful to watch. I was I found myself like that several times where I wanted to yell at the TV, you know, because I'm like, why what uh it you know what I mean? Why is this a thing but you're not talking about that? The only thing that they would do to celebrate Diana was the landmines. That's the only thing I could recall that they celebrated about Diana in season 6 was the landmines. That was it. And when they celebrated the landmines, they actually poisoned it. They actually diluted it, that scene with all of the stuff with Dodie, the photos of her and Dodie. So even that moment when she was supposed to have been able to be proud and have saved lives or whatever you want to call it, that portion of it they would not allow Diana to have her flowers. It turned into more to do with her and Dodie than her actually saving life and limb, literally life and limb. So that's why I said it's very painful to watch. It is painful. I was very hurt by it. I was very, very hurt. I wasn't surprised because I knew from season 5 that this was the new vehicle to help reform Charles, to help save Charles. This is all about Charles and Camilla. So, not surprised, but hurt. Let's see. Desiree Dawson said, as I've said many times before, the palace saw Meghan as a threat because they saw her as Queen Diana made over. They were scared and chicken and selfish. How dare somebody else get more media attention? Yeah, yeah. They don't step up their game. They just try to suppress anyone who has more popularity. They want to suppress other people. That's quite a business model, by the way. That is quite a business model. Could you imagine if the royal family was to have a very aggressive year campaigning, campaigning out, hear me out, campaigning for, and I'm trying to think, how could they do something that could not be deemed as political? Since, they say officially they're not supposed to get into politics, although we know they do. But what if they participated with some of the charities that help people pay for heating or fuel or clothing or food? If they were more active about it, if they had like a telethon, like Jerry Lewis used to have the telethons. What if they participated in stuff like that more often instead of going to Singapore to try to save the world from pollution with a vanity project or a chance to look like a statesman, where instead of doing the work, you just make the big announcement. Um, William wants to be seen as a statesman or will become a statesman. Yeah. Harry did the work. William made an announcement. But isn't that how it always goes? Harry does the work. William makes an announcement. Thank you, Desiree. Uh, yeah, yeah. It seems as though he pushed very hard to get that Mountbatten name in the House of Windsor to be a part of the monarchy, which is strange when you consider that name did not exist before what, George the Fifth or George the Sixth. That name didn't even exist. That name comes from the castle. And there was nobody named Windsor. They just took that name and they, especially not Windsor, Mountbatten. Um, Mountbatten is the anglicized version of Battenberg, but that sounds too German. So they changed it to Mountbatten. And then, of course, when it came to the Royals, of course, they didn't want to be what was that peach cobbler girdle, whatever their name is, peach cobbler girdle. They didn't want to be peach cobbler girdle anymore, so they changed it to Windsor from the castle. So you got two made up names that have been hyphenated so that the British people will not associate foreign royal families taking their money, ruling their country, reigning all over them. But those are two family names brought together that should have never been. You got the very German Queen Victoria, and I do recall that when Diana married into that awful family, it was said again and again that Diana is more English than the Queen. Diana is more English than the Queen. The Queen is Scottish and German and a whole bunch of other stuff besides uh, British, besides English. And Diana, she could trace her English heritage back, what, 700 years, they were saying? And the Queen, what was it, about 7 years? What? How far could the Queen trace her heritage? About 7 years. So, yeah, you think about that. Think about that. The Queen could only trace her heritage back about 7 years and 3 days, and Diana over 700 years. How about that? Let's see. It would be so nice if the Spencers could enjoy an American Thanksgiving with the Sussexes. I hope that can happen for them, since nothing like explaining our traditions to families from overseas. Yeah, they always say that Thanksgiving is actually the most American holiday, Thanksgiving. Um, it hasn't been commercialized in the same way that other holidays have. So it is considered a more purely American holiday than any other. If that's how you feel about it. I'm sure some people feel differently. Okay, I better move on. Um, Rosalind Carter died 1927 to 1923. The one thing that I remember about her is that she uh, was like an equal, and that is how Jimmy Carter has always viewed his wife as his equal, even though Jimmy Carter was president of the United States. As far as his marriage, his relationship, his place in this world, he and his wife were equals, 50-50 partners in pursuit of their family relations. They were equals. He said, "That is my equal." And I do recall also when they seemed to get upset, some of the cabinet members didn't like the fact that during some very sensitive talks, she would sit in on it. She would sit in. And I don't know why they keep this pretense that the first lady is not the chief advisor. Yeah, there is a chief of staff, there are the campaign directors, there's all these people before and after entering the White House that are supposed to be the people that the president looks to for counsel. However, no one is ever more important to I guess the success of a president than the first lady, or someday the first spouse, the first gentleman. Nobody else is more important, and they pretend otherwise, but it's true. She was just more public and more visible about it at a time when most people were not ready for that. And so she was roundly criticized. And then it happened again with Hillary Clinton. And of course, that was a problem. Um, but people have to embrace those types of partnerships. But it usually is the very conservative, the very right wing that loves to suppress intelligent women. I get the argument, well, we voted for him. We didn't vote for both of them. Well, you kind of did. You kind of did. Um, Anytime you're dealing with a married person, whether is you know deliberate or not, whether is that person is part of their decision making. That person is their their friend and confidant. So that bothered people, but especially considering that they were from the South, and people don't people in the South are less tolerant of intelligent women asserting themselves in a traditionally male world, a male hierarchy. They don't cotton too well to that. So that is a big problem in the South. Is that they don't like their women like that, and so even though Jimmy Carter was the president of all these United States, some of the people that he brought to the White House were from the South. And some of the people in the Congress were also from the South. And so, yeah, they don't like that sort of thing. But she has been his partner for so long. I mean, a lot of people have not lived as long as they have been married to each other. Yeah, he was holding on for her. My sister said that she would probably go first. She literally said that. When I told my sister she went into hospice, she said, "Oh, well, I hate to say it, but she's probably going to go first." And that's exactly what happened. So, what a great couple, though. Uh, oh, yeah. You know, Charles, you would expect Charles to be um, more understanding of Harry, considering that so much of what Harry included in his book was things that was already known, that was already in the public view or public consciousness, if you will. And also, when it comes to being, I guess, neglected as a child, if that's not too strong a word, after being neglected himself, after being sidelined and ignored and left to the devices of the help of a boarding school and such, you would think that he would embrace Harry more than he would anybody else in the world. But instead, he's actively plotted against Harry, along with that person he's married to. I love this photo right here. I believe that is one of those White House photos. And take a look here. Rosalynn Carter, transformative first lady and mental health advocate, dies. That is definitely a tour of the White House. And of course, from the tabloid. Ugh. But that is how I found it. This popped up. Breaking news: she was my equal partner. Jimmy Carter pays tribute to his wife of 77 years. Rosalynn, after her death at 96, 2 days after ex First Lady entered hospice care suffering from dementia. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Well, I mean, it was her time. I mean, she was older, but I guess I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready. I've said so many times that I find Jimmy Carter to be consistently the most honest president I've ever known, the most honest. And out of all the former presidents, he is the only one who has called out apartheid and did not back down from it. He has literally accused the Zionists of being uh, of practicing apartheid, and he didn't back down from it. He was so roundly criticized for it, and he didn't care. He called it for what it is. And if that is not honesty, I don't know what is. You're you're not going to get any of the other former presidents to do that. And I'm so disappointed with all of them. All of them. I'm so disappointed with the Democrats. I don't have the words. That's another place where I stammer trying to figure out what to say. But I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. So I hope the moral compass of the Democrat Party lives a long time. Jimmy Carter. I just feel like his presence is the only thing that reminds a lot of people what could be or what we should be. So, not ready to lose him yet. Okay. All right. There's Rosalynn Carter with Coretta Scott King. And there she is with the First Ladies. You recognize, of course, um, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Nancy Reagan. And then, of course, fighting for women as always, there she is with Coretta Scott King, Betty Ford, and Lady Bird Johnson, I think. Yeah, I think it's Betty Ford and Lady Bird Johnson. And here they are in later years. You can see them with Stacey Abrams there. And this is one of my favorites, those two sweethearts. Those two sweethearts, the Navy, what was he, a captain? Well, anyway, I think he worked on a submarine, didn't he? But yeah, there he is in his Navy whites. And of course, Rosalind. Love the two of them. Love these old photos. Now, take a look here. There were some double takes, some minor jaw drops, and whispers attempting to fact check if that was, in fact, royalty blessing us with her presence. The fangirling continued through the night as TV personality Garcelle Bouvet said during her opening remarks, I took a picture with Meghan Markle so I can die now. So, very strongly worded. Um, Let me play that sound bite for you. Let me play that sound bite for you. Hmm. Uh-oh, do I have it? Here we go. Do I have it? Of course I have it.
By the way, I took a picture with Meghan Markle, so I can die now. All right, good evening, everyone. I am so honored to be in this room with so many incredible women. What a room. By the way, I took a picture with Meghan Markle, so I can die now. All right, good evening, everyone. I am so honored to be in this room with so many incredible women.
All right, so there you go. And take a look there. Variety power of women. You can see where she posted this well, actually, she posted this yesterday. So she was still like excited about their meeting. So she posted um, the photo here. I think it's on her Instagram and who knows where else, but she is still celebrating that moment, which I think is very sweet. Very, very sweet. I love that. The crown has become lame royalist propaganda as the Netflix series has inched closer to the present. Its criticism of King Charles and the royal family and the royals, that is, have noticeably softened. And that, of course, is coming from a Rolling Stone. The Rolling Stone gathers no moss. Rolling Stone has been very, very vocal. They said, um, oh, there we go. Okay, they said, The Crown is back. The sixth and final season of Netflix royal drama begins with some big D energy. If you know, you know. It's all about Diana and Dodie. Oh, okay, that D. All right, and the Diana and Dodie. Okay, I get what they mean by that. I thought they were. Oh well. Okay. The young lovers whose whirlwind romance ended tragically in the Paris car crash. This became the "Where were you?" moment for a generation. So, unfortunately, there's a paywall, and I can't go any further. But if you have a Rolling Stone, um, let me see. Will it let me go any further? No. If you have a Rolling Stone subscription, then you could probably get some more out of that. But yeah, they said what a lot of people are thinking, and that is that they have forfeited any semblance of what is the word I'm looking for? Um, integrity. Yeah, they have forfeited all integrity. Yes. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue. So it's the same Rolling Stones that says a royal rumor might be inspiring straight men to get pegged, and that's beautiful. If you recall, they were one of the first mainstream magazines to write an article about the accusations of Prince William being pegged or enjoying pegging. They were the first ones to speak out about it. And cheers to Ryan Air for joking about it. Yep. Okay. Now, I am obsessed with these tissue boxes. I love it. I think it's adorable. How cute is that? I am obsessed with those. Um, it's just one of those things that's just cute for no reason. Well, for one reason. Um, yeah, I love those. A lot of fun. I love little fun, interesting things like that. Snubbed. Okay, let's get to the snub. If you all recall, the sexiest bald head man in the world never appeared in New York. It was William instead. New York put on some of those waist high rubber pants and he went out into, what was it, Hudson Bay to examine the effects of pollution on the oyster population and how they were trying to reintroduce the oysters to make the waterway healthier or whatever. Well, that was all fine and dandy, but Simultaneously and without ceremony, there are people back in the UK trying to deal with wastewater, fecal matter flowing from the fresh water out into the ocean waters. He could have addressed that, but instead, he went to New York and started digging for oysters. Make that make sense? I don't get it. Now, here's an interesting. Okay, it says right here, just a heads up, Williams' famous Earthshot initiative was already filed for trademark by Charles Weir in 2008. Based on Charles R. Ware's the third, the Earthshot Foundation trademark will be used in the following what is that? Following business, public advocacy to promote awareness in the field of sustainable energy and energy independence, providing information in the field of energy efficiency and sustainable energy. So, if you look at the image, I guess in the middle, you can see where, let me see, an idea from Goldman Prize winner Schops, Belgium, 2008. In the spirit of JFK's moonshot, let's not destroy what keeps us alive. I call for an earth shot to save our planet. In the next decade, a small step for the global community, a giant leap for our planet. So, if you don't recognize that, or if it sounds familiar, you can recall that the astronauts, when they landed on the moon, they said one small step for everyone, or whatever that is, and one giant step for mankind. Well, that's almost a direct quote. So, there's nothing original. It would be bad enough if one of the Welleses was obsessing over someone else's work and then talking about it, or doing whatever meetings or speeches. They're pushing this with money that went into the charity to help people. So William is going to award people who have come up with ideas for sustainability, right? For efficiency. And as for Kate, she's using money to set up speeches, to set up meetings, to make her look good, to make her look busy. Yeah, to make her look busy. That's what she's doing with the money that they've taken in. Let me see here. I was listening to one of the Sussex friendly programs today, and as to Willie being the sexiest bald man, this person asked, did all the bald men? I shouldn't think so. I shouldn't think so. Oh, by the way, here is what I meant by snubbed. You see this? Time 100 climate. Um, these are 100 people that are working to save our planet, working to find what is it? Sustainable ways to help the planet in the future generations. And out of all these people, there's Bill Gates. You see Bill Gates? Bill Gates, I think he's awarding people. These are people that are trying to influence change. But what you don't see here is Prince William. Prince William is nowhere to be found in those 100 faces. He's nowhere. The man who is supposed to single handedly change the trajectory of the future where global warming and pollution is concerned is nowhere to be found. Not even a bottle of Mitchum deodorant. He's not there. Where's William? Yeah, he's probably incandescent somewhere. That's going to raise the Earth's temperature. But where is William? This is supposed to be his thing. And yet, he is nowhere to be found. Well, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but the time 100 ain't fooled. Yeah, exactly. And take a look here. Prince William Charity invests with bank tied to dirty fuels. The London Conservation Charity, founded by Prince William, second in line to the British throne, and who launched the Earthshot Prize, keeps his investments in a bank that is one of the world's biggest backers of fossil fuels, the Associated Press has learned. This is from Bloomberg. Bloomberg News. Michael Bloomberg, is one of the people that William has been courting because William needs money to keep this charity going. He doesn't want to spend his own money. So he is hoping to elevate his status as a world leader or global leader by meeting with the very wealthy and politicians and such to solicit money from them, right? But how strange Bloomberg, who's supposed to be William's friend, is the person whose name is on that Bloomberg report. I mean, Bloomberg is Bloomberg News, financial news. And they just called him out. Well, let me see. When did that come out? When is that story? Oh, gosh. I think I covered up the date. Oh, there it is. August 19th, 2022. So, yeah, Michael Bloomberg's paper called him out for investing money into some very dirty companies or banks that are doing business with these polluters or people who, you know what I mean. So how odd. Maybe he should Uber with his helicopter to raise money. I think that a lot of people wouldn't be caught off guard because every time they see him go up and down at Kensington Palace's landing strip, I'm pretty sure that they just assume that that's the way it is, that he was already out doing Uber. Anyway, thank you so much for your comment. So there you go. But yeah, he was ignored. He was ignored. They don't want to have anything to do with him. They don't recognize him as a force for good or a force for change. They just recognize him as having that vanity project. So Kate Middleton branded out of touch for wearing a $400 shirt and asking Brits for fundraiser donations. Okay, you know what? I did just say that they should do more stuff like that. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they should just give the people their money back. And the British people are stupid for putting up with this nonsense. I hate them. Ha! They're just welfare recipients living off the taxpayers of the British people. Do I have that one here? I hope that's not stuck on my broken computer. I would be heartbroken if I was never able to share that video again. Oh well. Let me see here. Okay. Why does she keep wearing what is it? Struggle wig? Yeah, 400 US dollars, 425 Muppet fur wig. No, $4.25 Muppet hair wig. Okay. And then In Touch magazine, I don't believe a word of this. I really don't. I believe that the Welleses are in a very long term, happy, secure relationship. And I think what keeps them so strong is the fact that they can take off and go to another house anytime they choose. Nothing makes a relationship strong like an absence from one another. And I'm sure that, someday in the future, whatever has happened shall be resolved. But no, I'm just being sarcastic. But yeah, um, let me see. Lots of war paint and photoshopping around. I think that the Derangers are really upset about Meghan being at that function and looking so good. So I think a lot of the Derangers have a newfound commitment for photoshopping images of Meghan. They are more determined, like that one that threatened me in the comments. If you keep posting those ugly pictures of Kate Middleton to try to make her look bad, we're going to do the same thing. And trust me, this is one that you cannot win. I was like, oh, woof, calm down. Was it something I did or said? Let's see. YM Droid said, just wait for the list of people tackling homelessness or a Middle East peace. Maybe it's out of touch. Maybe it's Out of Touch magazine makes the list. Instead of In Touch, Out of Touch, huh? I love that. Thank you. Um, Now, I promised you guys a makeover, right? I promised you all a makeover. This is one lady I absolutely love, Donna Brazile. Donna Brazile, who works in campaigning and statistics and such. She usually works with the Democrats. And Donna Brazile is very wise and very knowledgeable and unflappable. She's just, she's always very cool. So crazy about her. Crazy about her. And well, take a look at Donna Brazile today. She's always had that lush, thick hair, right? Always. Here she looks, you know, distinguished, right? But she looks much older than her actual age, to be honest. But fast forward to here, and she looks good. She's looking good. She is looking so good. Yep. She is looking so good. I love it. Love, love, love the makeover. And well, you know what? Here's a side by side. Here's a side by side. Um, Donna Brazile on the left. I think that was before her hair got so white. And then here on the right with a little bob. Yeah, everybody on the internet that knows her is talking about Donna Brazile's new look. Donna Brazile has gone from get my chillin' out of here to one of the Braxtons. I mean, she literally looks like she could be one of the Braxtons. She has gone from Miss Sophia um, to one of the Braxton sisters. And that is nothing less than spectacular. So, yeah, it's never too late to, change your look if that's what you want to do. Yeah, it's never too late. You can do whatever you want to do. And I think this is the last one, maybe. Is this the last slide? Oh, yeah, this is the last slide. Looks like there's a new Disney movie coming out called Brawl. Yeah, a new Disney movie coming out called Brawl. It's about a security guard who is trying to protect the dock, patrol the dock to make sure that people are not hogging up the space so that a boat full of party revelers will be able to dock without those drunken people being in their way. And well, anyhow, we pretty much know how the story ends, but I'm sure that they will take some license with it. So I look forward to seeing Brawl, all right, at a theater near you. Yep. So look for Brawl. All right. So I am going to end with the last word of the day. You like that one? Yeah, I was kind of taking it all in. All right. So this is the last word of the day, as if I could see it. As if I can see it. Let me see what I can do about that. Okay. Oh, I got to zoom in for this one. So, a great reminder. At age 23, Tina Fey was working at a YMCA. At age 23, Oprah was fired from her first reporting job. At age 24, Stephen King was working as a janitor and living in a trailer. At age 27, Vincent van Gogh failed as a missionary and decided to go to art school. At age 28, Wayne uh, Wayne is it Coyne? Yeah, Wayne Coyne from the Flamingo Lips was a fry cook. At age 30, Harrison Ford was a carpenter. Age 39, Julia Child released her first cookbook and got her own cooking show at age 51. Vera Wang failed to make the Olympic figure skating team, didn't get an editor in chief position at Vogue, and designed her first dress at age 40. Stan Lee released the first big comic book. Didn't release his first big comic book until he was 40. Alan Rickman gave up his graphic design career to pursue acting at age 42. Morgan Freeman landed his first major movie role at age 52. Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman. I landed my first major movie role at age 52. That's pretty good. I haven't done a Morgan Freeman impersonation in a long time. Okay. And is it Catherine Yeah, Catherine Bigelow, whoever that is, only reached international success when she made the Hurt Locker at age 57. Grandma Moses didn't begin her painting career until age 76. And Louise Bourgeois, didn't become a famous artist until age 78. Whether one more time, whatever your dream is, it is not too late to achieve it. You are a future, I'm sorry, you are a failure. I can't see that. You are a failure because you haven't found fame and fortune by age 21. Hell, it's okay if you don't even know what your dream is yet. Even if you even if you're flipping burgers, waiting tables, or answering phones today, you never know where you'll end up tomorrow. Never tell yourself you're too old to make it. Never tell yourself you miss your chance. Never tell yourself that you aren't good enough. You can do it. Whatever it is that you set your soul, or whatever it is that sets your soul on fire, you can do it. Dream it and believe it and achieve it. The power is yours. So if you feel like you've missed out, if you feel like it's too late, if you feel like you're too old to travel, too old to start a new career, too old for anything, it's all in your head. All of these people were able to do things much later than they planned, or even later in life than they thought were possible. So there you are. Dream it and believe it. Like, for instance, what about Kate Middleton? Kate Middleton never thought that she would be able to give a proper speech. And there's still people that believe that Kate Middleton has never, ever done a proper speech. But whatever it is she has or has not done, she just keeps plugging away at it. Her wigs get bigger. Um, her movements become more erratic. You know, she does all this stuff with her hands and everything, but at least she's trying, you know? At least she's trying. And plus, it's good material for me, is it not? Isn't that some good material for me? So, uh, it's good material. And so, when you look at it like that, it's a win win situation, isn't it? And of course, whenever we bring up Kate Middleton, it is always incumbent upon us to reach out to Kensington Palace. So, apropos of what I just said, we better reach out to Kensington Palace just so that we can get her version of it. Let me see. Yeah, I don't want to be selfish. Okay, so how come I'm not reaching out? Where are you, Kensington Palace? Kate? Hmm. Oh, there's Kensington Kate.
Well, obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, on to this day, and you know, going forward and things. You know, it is. You know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and you know, very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
Okay, girl. I'm glad you do. So anyway, that was our last word today in those very super small letters. But thank you all so much. And thank you for the list, Sherry Ware. Thank you, Legs. Thank you, Legs. And thank you, YM Droid. Okay. All right. And oh, Diane Hawkins, what happened? I hope you're okay. All right. Oh, okay. Let me see. Baron, the wig never thought it would be on the head of the future queen. Who would have thought a basic wig would go to such heights? Big dream big. I get that actually. I really do. Thank you so much. That's right. You got to dream big. Okay, you guys, love you. I am going to go. That was our last word. And of course, we will always end with our queens, our Queen Doria, and of course, Queen Diana, who we have been vigorously defending from that dreadful Crown series. Ugh. Good night, Harlem Girl. Good night, Mary H. Good night, everybody. Love you guys. And I'm going to cue the Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all tomorrow. Let's see here.